Hello, GGs. Woo, woo, woo. Welcome to Girl Talk. We haven't had Girl Talk in years and years. We are live and in living color tonight. Yay. Talking about love and dating in the 21st century. Chapter 1. Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm going to give just a few minutes. Hi, Kim. Hi, love. Going to give just a few minutes for some gals to join us. Hi, Nina. Hello. All the DDs are coming on. Hello. Welcome. Oh, thank you. My new lipstick, my niecey Pooh, you know, who's my makeup artist. She's been getting me into all these colors. So I got new lipsticks. I call it Godly Girl Pink, right? Because of the pink in our classic tees. Godly Girls Pink. Welcome to Girl Talk. We are back. We haven't done Girl Talk. Man, I think it's been a couple years, girls, since we've done Girl Talk. I started out this group doing a conference call on Tuesday nights called Girl Talk, and it was actually a dial-in phone number. We didn't even have video. Hello, welcome. It wasn't even video, girl. It was a dial-in number where you called in and hi, Priscilla. And I was just talking and we would just answer questions and we would take questions live, and we had such a great time on Tuesday nights. And that was years ago. That was right when Godly Girls first got started. And some of you are veterans. You will remember back to the original Girl Talk that we used to have. Cheryl, I know girl, we're going to be done before the Falcons come on, Cheryl. 7 to 8. Carrie Pope already told me we got to be done by 8 o'clock. Sandy says, hello, Rebecca. Hello, ladies. Hi, Sandy. Patrice, hello. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. So I'm so excited. I've never done this. My book came out last year, and I had such a crazy year between speaking and traveling and everything that I was doing last year. And then this year has just gotten away from me. And this is my book, The Godly Girl's Guide, dedicated to you guys, our club, The Godly Girl's Guide to Love and Dating in the 21st Century. I have another ebook, but this is my first official published book dedicated to the Godly Girls. And so tonight we're going to begin our new Girl Talk series, going through the book chapter by chapter. For the new Godly Girls, for new GGs who are not familiar with me, I'm Rebecca Lynn Pope, and who are not familiar with Girl Talk. Girl Talk is pretty raw. So I'm just going to put it out here right now that the conversations we have tonight, the questions I'm going to ask, the points I'm going to make, we're not children, we're not little girls here in this group. We are grown women. How much and where can I purchase, Latasha? There's a link at the top of this video that you'll be able to click and purchase. I put the link at the top of the video. So, but you can go to godlygirlsglam.com. godlygirlsglam.com. So one of the things that I'd like to say before we get started. All right. Am I a minister? Yes. Am I a first lady? Yes. Am I a certified coach and mentor? Yes. Am I raw and real? Yes. As a matter of fact, as I was reviewing chapter 1 of the book, hey Carla, as I was reviewing chapter 1 of the book for tonight, the first paragraph in my book, chapter 1 says, let me prepare you for the journey we are about to go on together. First, I am a no-nonsense coach and matchmaker. This is back when I was matchmaking, guys. I am like that best friend who tells you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. So I'm just fair warning. I'm pretty raw. My Divine Circle members, y'all know how raw I am. You know how real I am. But for those of you who are not familiar with me, I don't really sugarcoat things because I need to give it to you real so you understand exactly what we're dealing with in 2018, soon to be 2019, when it comes to men and love and dating and relationships. We really, really have to be real about it. Dancing around it, acting like, I say right here in the first paragraph, we do not live in Bible times. We live in the 21st century. So yes, this is the Godly Girls Club, and we are we're believers. We are a group of believers. We're women of faith. Thank you, honey. We're women of faith. However, we can't afford to sugarcoat and tap dance and walk on eggshells around the real issues that we're dealing with, okay? In love, relationships, marriage, all of it. Latasha says, I've struck out twice, so I need help with relationships. Amen. We all need help with relationships, honey. So here's the rules for tonight. The only rule is there are no rules. So any question that you want to ask, no question is off limits tonight. This is both Q&A. This is a discussion. I want you to get as much as you can out of me. I want to get as much as I can out of you in this hour that we have together. So tonight we're starting with chapter 1, but we're going to work our way all the way through the book. And this is on love and dating. Of course, I'm married, but all of this is really the prelude to before I got married, girls. I was single until a few years ago. I'm one of those women who hasn't been married so long that I don't know what's going on out here, that I'm so clueless. I listen to some married women, I'm just like, y'all don't know what. Did your ring on your finger completely, did you fall and bump your head? The way you now think about how it is to be single? It is crazy out here. Crazy. And so I'm not so, long-term marriage that I don't know what it is to be single out here in these 21st century streets. It's crazy out here. The rules don't apply. And especially as women of faith, we've got to have a better understanding of how to approach dating and men and keep our standards in place as women of faith. Okay, so we're going to discuss the book. So first chapter of the book, the fairy tale, Why did I start out with the first chapter of my book called The Fairy Tale? I needed to lay the groundwork to help women of faith understand, because that's who buys my books, women of faith. But I needed to set kind of a foundation of understanding that we've been brainwashed to believe a certain way about men, about courting, about marriage, about relationships, about love, about all of it. We've been programmed to believe a lie. Okay, that's the first chapter of the book, where it starts, because what I believe as women is that we have really, really been sold, and it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's not our fault that we have these expectations of men. It's not our fault that we have expectations and high expectations of dating and courting and how a man should be and what a man's role is. And then when you get out here and you're in real life and what you're experiencing doesn't match up at all to your expectations, especially in 2018, because technology in the last even 6 years, 7 years, 8 years has really derailed everything. So everything's changed, girls, okay? So I like to put this up front with this chapter, because one of the things that I laid down in this chapter that we've really got to talk about is our lack of realistic expectations as it pertains to society and where these rules and all this programming comes from, and understanding that men have the same type of standards and fairy tales in their head of how they expect themselves to be or how they expect women to be. And one of the biggest blocks, one of the reasons that we're not meeting in the middle and men and women are just not connecting or understanding each other is because our expectations of each other are not realistic. And so there's this huge disconnect. It's a huge disconnect. And so one of the things I pointed out in the first chapter is that I created this little diagram that breaks down what dating used to be like, or what the fairy tale version of dating is versus the realistic modern love story, right? In other words, making it realistic. Because one of the things that, a real simple question that I get a lot of the time is, well, Rebecca, all he does is text me. How come he doesn't pick up the phone and call? Why is he messaging me on Facebook? Or why is he, texting me instead of picking up the phone and calling when he has my phone number? And one of the things I said in my book is that this technology and all of these different ways to communicate are actually here to stay. It's not going anywhere, girls. Hey, honey, it's not going anywhere. All the different ways of contacting each other, all the different ways that we connect, the technology, it's not going anywhere. You might as well get used to it, because if he's texting you, he's at least thinking about you. And then if you have the occasional phone call, in between text messages, he's interested. But the texting and all of the technology and all of that, that's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And so at some point, if you're somebody who says, I ain't doing all that texting, Rebecca, he need to pick up the phone and call me. Well, you're going to have to find yourself an older, kind of more traditional guy who's real old school, because most people text. And they will hold a whole entire conversation via text. And so, you've got to be able to bend a little bit, because times have changed a lot. It's changed a lot. So anyway, let me go into the fairy tale a little bit. Because one of the things I like to say from the very beginning is that, first of all, your choice in a spouse is the biggest decision you're ever going to make in your life. Your choice in a spouse is the biggest decision you're ever going to make in your entire life. And that being said, one of the things that we have not been taught, and I read this in my book when I was kind of reviewing, is that we have not been taught to date. Women of faith, we don't know how to date. Our mothers didn't teach us how to date. Our grandmothers didn't teach us how to date. Nobody taught us how to date. All it was said was, don't get pregnant, right? You're supposed to be getting married. But what about all the in-between time? What about the getting to know you phase? What about what are you supposed to do? What are the rules of engagement, right? And I was so naive, growing up. I just thought, you like me, I like you. I say it in here a couple times, you're cute, you like me, you're crazy about me. Okay, we go together. I mean, I'm just saying that was he's cute. Oh, that's my boo. That's my boyfriend. We go together. He likes me. Oh, I like you. Okay, we go together then. And I got married off that same principle. Young and dumb. Thinking that you can build a lifelong commitment and relationship with someone because you think they're cute and because God must be in it because you like them, or you think this can last forever, but you have not learned to vet or qualify a man to even have the qualities of a husband. You have not learned what it is to take your time and go slow. Okay, so one of the things that I feel fall into the fairy tale is that anybody you like, you can just make into a successful relationship. Check yes or no, right, Sandy? Exactly. Like, so in other words, we're kind of thrown out here into the world. We grow up and we get thrown. It's like literally sink or swim. And it's like, it's crazy out here. And most young women like literally get eaten alive, right? Because I don't know about y'all, but my daddy didn't talk to me about how men are. All they said was, don't have sex or don't get pregnant. All they said, my dad would be like, boys only want to get in your pants. Okay, but you didn't tell me, Daddy, that boys lie. You didn't tell me, Daddy, that boys say all the things you want to hear to get in your panties. You didn't spit game to me. You didn't let me know, how that by the time it becomes temptation, by the time you actually are being tempted to have sex, you want to do it. And that because then the words that he's saying to you sound so good, you think in your innocent little naive mind that this is going to be forever, this is going to be something and you guys are going to be together. And all of a sudden, all your promises to yourself about waiting for marriage and all of that stuff, you start to really shake on that stuff, right? Sandy said, mine didn't even say that, right? We literally had no guidance. Zero guidance through the dating process. And even think about it right now. This is why I wrote my book. Because even when it comes to Christians, all we talk about is waiting. Think about it. What do you see over and over again with all these webinars and live Facebooks from all these relationship experts and from everybody out here trying to sell you their newest book, their newest thing, their newest conference, their newest whatever? Think about it. To Christian Black women and to Christian women, what do we get constantly sold on? We're waiting on our Boaz. We're waiting for the man that God has for us. But no one talks about what to do when you're waiting. Earlier this year, I had a consultation with a woman who is 55 years old and she's a virgin. 55 years old, never married, no kids, and is a virgin. No one ever taught her how to date. No one ever told her that you're not going to ever get married if you don't learn how to interact with men and still hold your boundaries in place. So one of the things I'm going to cut to the chase here. One of the things that I want to say right here from the beginning is that most Christian women don't date because they're not spiritually mature enough to stick to their boundaries and their standards, like no sex, and still be meeting and interacting with men. They will use their abstinence and their celibacy as a way to protect themselves. So it makes them feel like they're doing what God has called them to do because they're holding themselves back from sex. But what they really do is put up a wall that is actually the same wall that's blocking you from falling or sinning or having sex, is also blocking men and blocking love. Example A, nearly every abstinent and celibate woman that I meet literally will tell a man from the first conversation or first date, oh, well, I'm abstinent. I just thought you should know. I'm celibate. Right? Wait. Markeisha says, girl, well, mine did. I told me all the things bad that guys do, so I'm ruined. I dead the dudes before they get a chance. Oh, Markeisha. So you're the opposite direction. You're expecting the worst. So you're super guarded, right? Okay. And what I'm talking about also is using your abstinence or celibacy as a guard. That's what the woman I met earlier this year done. Tons of women that I meet and do consultations with and end up helping. Tons of them. They don't know how to date. So they just don't date. And so you find, and this is a good, we had a great discussion in Divine Circle last night about this subject. So guess what happens? And I write about this later on in the book. Good girls don't know how to date. Good girls being good girls, godly girls, girls that, have a good heart. They're trying to live right. They're trying to, walk in purpose, walk in faith. Sharon says walls versus boundaries. There you go, honey. And so oftentimes, because Christian women and women of faith don't know how to date, they don't date at all. And so guess what? The first knucklehead that comes along that's saying the right things and spitting game to you, you're falling head over heels for. And all of a sudden the men, you've given your heart to somebody who you've neither vetted nor qualified to even have that place in your heart. But then you're getting your heart broken by this loser who just knew all the right things to say to earn your trust, because you're so not used to even talking to men or a man giving you any attention and interacting with a man. Thank you, Sophia from London. Read your book earlier this year. Love it. Thank you, babe. So literally what you do is set yourself up to be abused, used, right? Set yourself up for more heartbreak because you don't build any experience. You don't know what you're doing. You don't even know how to be confident interacting with men, to even just be able to be yourself. Because you're not, a lot of women I know aren't even in the game. Aren't even in the game. They're on the bench. On the bench. Coming back up to a couple questions real quick. Kim says, right out the gate, I'm celibate, right? Keep it real. Kim says, well, what if you're not abstinent and just say say that to men to weed the jerks out? Listen, when you bring up abstinence or celibacy on the first phone call or the first date, do you realize you're talking about your sex life? Would you talk to a stranger about the lack or magnitude of your sex life? Would you talk to a stranger about anything personal on that level? Stop and really think about what I'm saying, girls. To say you're abstinent or celibate means you're telling someone you don't even know something very personal about yourself. Why do we lead with that? Because we're using it as a guard to try to keep ourselves from getting hurt, or better yet, the underlying psychology is you don't want him to test you. You don't want him to press you for sex, because at the end of the day, and listen, this is what the men tell me. They're like, Rebecca, the Christian girls are the easiest. They're the ones who give it up in a heartbeat. They be running their mouths talking about abstinent, celibate, but then they turn it around on you and be the ones trying to get it from me. This is what the men tell me, girls. That all the goody girls ain't so goody when they Netflix and chilling. So guess what? They don't believe you anyway. But more than likely what happens is that when you lead with that, it's said typically in such an abrasive or attitude or defensive manner that he just gets turned off anyway. He gets turned off. Why? Because of your demeanor. It's like she's closed off. She ain't trying to entertain nothing. She don't seem fun. They don't want, listen, dating is supposed to be fun. People out here working hard. Life is hard enough as it is. I don't want to be coming on a date with you and you sitting here looking like sour Susie. And by the way, I'm abstinent. I just thought you should know. Boo-boo, I didn't even ask you that. And who even said I'm trying to get in your pants? And why can't we just sit here and have a nice dinner and a drink and enjoy each other's company? Why are we having to go there? First of all, it's offensive. If I was a man, I'm just going to put myself in a man's shoes. I like you enough because first of all, if I was a man, I wouldn't even be going on a lot of dates because first of all, that stuff's expensive. If I was a man and I'm going to drop $100 on a dinner, because $150, because going out for dinner and drinks is not cheap. If I vetted you enough to have a couple phone conversations with you and be like, she seems really cool, I like her, you know, I at least want to get to know her and take her on a date to get to know her, see her in person, to see what our chemistry or her energy's like in person. Okay, then I'm at dinner and the first thing you gonna come off with is, by the way, I'm abstinent or celibate. Okay, I don't even know if I like you. Much less want to have sex with you. And now I'm paying $150, $100, and you up here all sour Susie? I came here to chill with you. I came here to have a good time. Hopefully at least have a good conversation, meet somebody cool. Be able to make a connection. I'm not dropping $150, $100 on nothing. That's for somebody. I know that's not for everybody on the call tonight, but that is for somebody. Dating is supposed to be fun. Stop taking it so seriously, as if someone can make you do something that you don't want to do. That's that guard that we put up. Because truth be told, most of you don't trust yourselves when it comes to a man. You don't trust your abstinence. You don't trust your celibacy. You don't trust your spirituality. You don't trust your spiritual maturity. That you can even date and interact with a man in a spiritually mature way, to set boundaries. Most of you feel that your self-confidence and your self-esteem, if you're really honest, is not there quite enough to be able to interact with a man and not have sex. If you really like him, not have sex. So you end up, put up the guard. No, I'm abstinent. No, I'm celibate. No. A man tried to say hi to you. As if. Men tell me all the time, Rebecca, women aren't even nice anymore. I can't even say hello. I can't even hold open a door. I can't even introduce myself. We're not even cordial anymore to each other. Why? The wall, the pain, the stuff we've been through, the disappointments, the rejection, right? And then what we'll do, and this is something back to the first chapter of the book, what we'll do because of our programming. And I want someone who's on here to hear me right now. We will continue to double down on our programming. Because this is for somebody, and I need you to hear me. What you really believe is that you've just made bad choices. And so you keep thinking like, I just need to make a better choice when it comes to a man. That's what you're thinking. That I just haven't found the one. I haven't found that good guy. I haven't found that man of God. I haven't found the man that God has for me. I haven't found that special guy. So we'll keep doubling down on our programming that tells us the fairy tale exists, but we just haven't found the right guy. But yet the man that you were dating, when y'all broke up, he went on and met someone else, and now they're engaged or now they're married, and he seems like such a good guy with her, but why wasn't he a good guy with me? Wait a minute. What am I missing here? That somehow, why does it feel like I'm picking the wrong people, but those people can turn around and be good to someone else, but not me? Why don't I get what I want out of men? Why don't men treat me the way I want to be treated, but they'll treat someone else that way? But no, let me double back down. I'm going to double down because, I just haven't met the right one yet. That's what it is. I just haven't met the right guy yet. I haven't met the one that God intended for me. I haven't met the one. No, so it's these crazy men that just don't have it together. Or could it be that you don't exactly know how to be strategic to get what you want from men? Could it be that nobody's ever taught you that you even need to be strategic when it comes to men? Could it be, just like me, that I so believed in the fairy tale that all I had to do was you like me and I like you, and now we go together and we're going to live happily ever after? Could it be that it's not that simple? Could it be that love and relationships and dating are going to take work and going to take growth, and it's going to take processing, and it's going to take learning in order for you to get it right? Just like purpose, just like health, just like your wealth, just like your peace of mind and your prayer life, just like every other area of your life. Could it be there's no fairy tale? That you're going to have to learn how to speak your mind, stand your ground. You're going to have to learn to ask for what you want. No man is a mind reader. He's not going to show up and just do everything that you want him to do. Could it be that you're going to have to learn boundaries and standards? Could it be that you're going to have to believe in yourself and believe in your worth and have high self-esteem and high confidence? Just like every other area of your life where God's calling you into healing, where God's calling you to level up in your money, in your health, right? In your prayer life. Isn't this true? That in every area of your life, God is always calling you higher. He's always calling you higher. What are the lessons you need to learn in order to break this cycle of damage and foolish thinking and fairy tale-ish dream-like expectations? What is the cycle and pattern of thinking and behavior that you have as it pertains to men that has to get broken in order for God to be able to even bring the man that God would have for you, so that you can receive the love that you're worthy of? Because first, you've got to know you're worthy. Why, Markeisha says, true. Why do we feel there's a fairy tale love, but no other part of life is a fairy tale? Ding, 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 ding. The ding, ding, ding goes to Markeisha tonight. Why do we believe that there's a fairy tale love story, but no other part of life is fairy tale-ish? It's a reality. I don't know about y'all, but I've been through hell to get to where I'm at. I've worked and gone through hell to get to where I'm at in life. Why do we think that love is just going to, it magically appears, comes on a cloud, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and the angels are singing? Boo-boo. No, ma'am. You've been programmed to believe in the fairy tale from the time you were the smallest little child, listening to little fairy tale stories, watching little fairy tale cartoons, watching little Disney. I say in the book, my favorite movies, I was a teenager, 16 Candles, and all the little fairy tale books and the little romance fiction books. I can own it, right? Pretty Woman, Dirty Dancing. Remember all those movies, girls, that get you sold on, the hunky knight in shining armor guy coming along and rescuing the damsel in distress. And when's the last time a man saved you from anything? Carrie Pope and I rescued each other. I rescued him just as much as he rescued me. I blessed him and helped him just as much as he's blessed and helped me. There's no fairy tale. That's right, Nicole. It's everywhere. The man's supposed to sweep you off your feet. It's not real. Real true love is two imperfect people meeting each other, loving each other in spite of imperfections and circumstances that are not perfect. True love, unlike infatuation or lust, is all about loving someone for who they are, flaws and all. Flaws and all. So if you drop your fairy tale expectations, drop them. If you really truly just drop those expectations, you will be able to meet a really, really great guy who's wonderful for you, but he has the room and the latitude to just be human. Belinda says, when's the last time a black woman had the option of being a damsel in distress? Hunty, and all the white women I know, and the Latina women. I don't know any woman in the 21st century that gets to be a damsel in distress. I'm just real talk. All colors, all my clients, all the members I talk to, it's the same story. It's the exact same narrative. Nobody's getting rescued. We're rescuing ourselves. Women in the 21st century, we don't need to be rescued. And so one of the things I really talk about later on in the book is kind of the rules and structure around society that have brought about this programming, right? And one of the things we have to realize, because chapter 2 next week is modern marriage. We're going to talk about marriage next week. But I go into the history of marriage. But one of the things we have to understand is that the rules of engagement, the fairy tale thinking, and all of that we've had comes from such an old and dated society that no longer exists. So all of that stuff you have in your head of how you expect a man to be, and traditional gender roles for a man and traditional gender roles for a woman, you might as well just chuck it, because that stuff doesn't exist anymore. That all of that was based on you having zero rights as a woman, pretty much being pregnant and barefoot, having babies, and really that's how men looked at us. That's all we were good for. They didn't even think we were intelligent enough to do anything. So a lot of the stuff that we base modern society on as far as trying to be traditional is really, if you want to be traditional, honey, have at it. But that means you're going to strip away a lot of what you consider to be your rights and privileges. Women back in these days were not working. They were not in management positions over men. They couldn't speak in public. They didn't hold political positions. They didn't hold powerful positions. They didn't make the kind of money we make now. You didn't even literally talk back to your husband. We were second-class citizens. That's where a lot of this traditional stuff and traditional guidelines and society standards for things comes from a time when really all we would do would be taking care of a house, raising babies. Because literally, we used to not even have any rights. And it really wasn't that long ago. I know that it's hard to realize it, gals, but you go back into the 1970s, and when divorce first started to become prominent in the 70s, men literally would get everything. everything in a divorce. The house, the land, the kids, everything. Women had to start fighting. Do you know women couldn't even go into a bank and get a credit card without her husband's signature? This is not that long ago. I'm talking about, I was born 1975. We're talking about the 60s and 70s. That's not that long ago that everything was dependent on a man. But then we wonder why relationships have taken such a huge turn and a huge toll in the 21st century. All the rules have changed. Women make their own money. They're working hard and getting more education than men. We're now the CEOs of companies and millionaires and making six figures. Doctor, lawyer, climbing the corporate ladder. We are literally running circles around men when it comes to entrepreneurship. Right? Sandy says, I'm a 1963 baby. I remember. And while we're on the fairy tale, before we lead into next week, into marriage, into modern marriage, a lot of these marriages that you've put on a pedestal to think, oh, my grandparents were married 50 years, my parents were together 40 years. A lot of those marriages were very unhappy. A lot of our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers were miserable, abused, mistreated, staying because they didn't have a choice. He running around, babies on the side, running around, cheating. They didn't have an out. They didn't have their own money. Where could they go? How are they going to what are they going to do with their children? How would they take care of their children? The modern independent woman is a very new thing. A very new thing. A lot of these marriages, and we say, well, marriage doesn't last like it used to. It doesn't, because women don't have to stay. They don't have to be there anymore. That's right, Latasha. They just stayed together because of the children or nowhere to go. No financial provision. Some left the kids behind. They did, Natasha, if they were miserable enough. Remember, have you ever seen in the movies, girls, you see the movies where Grandma and Grandpa had the two twin beds in the room? The two twin beds. Because Grandma and Grandpa don't even sleep together no more. They don't even want to sleep in one bed. Real talk. Real talk. Fairy tale. We believed, oh, people just stayed happily married for 40 and 50 years. Yes, there's some. But there's not a lot of happily married people now. Much less then. Real talk. And the things that they stayed through then, we wouldn't be staying through now. Although a lot of Christian women, I've been in some of these wives groups, and the stuff they're putting up with for the sake of staying married and the sake of saying they're a wife or the sake of staying in a relationship, I have to get out of those groups. You've heard me talk about some of those wives groups, and I'm in there like, clutch my pearls, boo-boo. You need to knock Mr. over the head and get out. Because God did not call his girls to be abused, misused, mistreated. God didn't call me to be miserable, sitting up here putting up with your trifling butt because you don't know how to appreciate nobody and you acting crazy. trying to bring home diseases to me, I can get that in the street. I can get that with somebody. I'm just saying, that's not what you get married for. They can have it. That's how I feel. Like, I either get kicked out of the wives groups or I have to leave because I just can't take it. One of the administrators started deleting my comments in one of the groups because she said, we only advocate leaving in the case of abuse. She's being abused. She's mentally being abused. He's cheating on her, lying to her, putting her down, treating her like she's nothing. That's abuse. So what? The only reason a Christian woman can leave a man is if he's putting his hands on her? I digress. So, we will be talking about all these subjects going forward. But you're right. One girl said, we've been sold a dream for so long. Exactly. We have been sold a dream, Emily, and it's not real. Men are just human, just like us. They're just as frail, imperfect, vulnerable. They've been through the same stuff we've been through. And a matter of fact, most of them are hurting even more than us because at least we have each other. We have girlfriends, we have sisters, we get help, we talk to each other. Men are all bottled up because it's not manly, according to society standards. It's not manly to show weakness, to show emotion. Latasha says, I left a 10-year relationship 2 years ago because I was miserable trying to make something work that was never meant to be. Nice home, nice cars, money, but I rarely saw him because he was always busy. There you go, Latasha. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to learn from the book through this series that we're going through in Girl Talk. I'm going to tell you right now, girls, the only reason you should be getting married, and I know this is hard for the gals who have not been married before, but the only reason you should be getting married is if you fall head over heels in love with someone. I mean, like, the two of you are so in love, and it's like, you know, it's gotta be the type of love that's going to see you through some very difficult times, because you are going to go through very difficult times in a marriage. And if you don't love him, I mean love him, like love him in spite of his faults. Love him and see the good in him even at his worst. Love him as your best friend. If you don't you don't get that with someone, or that's not what it is, no ma'am, I would not do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because in essence, if you do anything, if you get married for anything other than that, what you're really getting married for is financial security or companionship, maybe if you're bored or lonely, because spirituality, because you guys might be the same faith. But those are weak. It's not gonna work. I love Carrie Pope to pieces. Carrie Pope loves me. He like drink my dirty bath water. Love me. I swear to you. Carrie Pope and I love each other. Like, I've never loved anyone the way I love Carrie Pope. And he's never loved anyone the way he loves me. But I tell you what, there have been points in our marriage where if we did not love each other so much, you just walk away. It gets hard. It's not easy blending your life with someone. It's not easy to love someone through their low places. It's not easy. You literally, that has to be your best friend. that you're loving them in a way, the way you love your best friend. Like, girl, I got you. I ain't going nowhere. You know how you are with your girl, like with your best friend. Like, girl, we got this. You know what? No, come on, girl. We gonna get it together. Get up. Come on, stop crying. We got this. Girl, don't nobody care about that boy. He's stupid and idiot anyway, that loser. You know how you are with your friends to where you're just so like, you love them and believe in them no matter what they're going through, like even at their worst. You could see them at their worst or see them do anything and you just be like, that's my girl. No, she just ain't at her best right now. I got to help her. She got to get it together because that's my girl. But you're ride or die with your girls, right? Your friends. You're ride or die with them. That's how you have to be with your husband. That's how you're going to feel about him. There's a friendship and a connection. It's just that it's a man instead of your girlfriend. Does that make sense to someone? I hope that's resonating, because sometimes I think we get off into all this fairy tale husband, wife, what he's supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be, how it's supposed to work. And it gets really confusing. In reality, the way a healthy, happy marriage works is that you are in love with your best friend. Different road dogs. Well, where does the work come in at? Work meaning counseling, prayer, fasting, endurance, patience. Said God is able to fix a lot of stuff in marriages if we let him. Listen, this is my experience. A lot of people have gotten married for all the wrong reasons. And a lot of the time what women don't understand is that based on a man's behavior, he can tell you and show you very clearly whether he wants you or not. And what I often see is a lot of women fighting for marriages that they're the only ones fighting. And vice versa. We get a lot of men who are fighting for something, but it's not two people fighting for it. And so it can't be just one person trying to get counseling, trying to get help, trying to work on it, trying to be better, trying to reconnect, trying to work on the marriage and relationship. It's got to be mutual. You can't make somebody do right. You can't make somebody want you. You can't make somebody want to be faithful. You can't make someone want to be loyal. You can't make someone want to be honest. You can't make somebody want to stop running the streets. They are who they are. You may have married them thinking you were getting one thing, but you got something different. And a lot of the time with women, what we do is we go in fairy tale. This is a great question someone posted on my page this morning. They said, Rebecca, I've met someone, blah, blah, blah. I'm ad-libbing. But I met someone. How do you know if something's love or lust? How do you know if something's love or lust? And my response to her was, how long have you been talking to this guy? And if it's not a long time, it's infatuation or lust. It's not love. Because love is when you commit to someone and you love them for who they are, flaws and all, based on getting to know them. Not the idea of them, not the ideal of them, not who you want them to be, but who they are. That's love. Now, the problem with women is that we will fall in love with the idea of the man, the ideal, dreamy fairy tale you have in your head, because you done skipped all the way down to walking down the aisle and having this man's babies before you've even really gotten to know him. And then when the real man starts showing up, when he finally gets to the point of being real and honest with you, because men lie, men have a much greater propensity for lying than women do, and I'll talk about that later. Now you feel you've been duped. I've been duped. How did I get here? Sandy says there's a level of respect in any relationship, so as long as that respect level remains, I think you can work things out. But if that person continues to be disrespectful and you find yourself working You find yourself, I can't get it. You find yourself working from one end, as you say, then as a fiercely independent woman. Yep. So one woman said to me, because I made a post one time and I said, men are all about respect. Love equals respect for men. And a woman said, well, I don't understand about cheating then, because that's the ultimate disrespect. And I said, it is the ultimate disrespect. And that's why you don't see a lot of men stay when a woman cheats, because it's the ultimate disrespect. The problem is our society has said a man is a man. We've given a pass for men to cheat, even though it's the ultimate disrespect, and they won't stand for it. They can't handle it. But the women who stay through cheating, have now allowed that. And especially if you don't have a protocol, a cheating protocol, that he's got to earn the respect back, earn the trust back. What I see women do over and over, I swear to God, I'm going to end up writing a book called The Cheating Protocol. What I see women do in cheating situations is just accept him right back in, just so happy to have her man. They hop back in the bed, they have sex. And once you have sex, it's like he thinks everything's fixed and everything's done. But the woman's walking around hurt and broken like a zombie, while he goes on to think everything's fine because all's forgiven. They move too quickly into reconciliation. And there's no consequences for cheating. Markeisha says, don't listen to words. I judge everything by your actions. Men tell you a lot without saying anything. Woo, yes. We literally, I said this before. And I said it last night in the Divine Circle. The language of men is action. The language of women is words. The language of men is action. Exactly. Accept him back free and clear. No consequences, nothing. That's right, Latasha. No, ma'am. You're setting yourself up to be disrespected from that point forward. Because he thinks I can do whatever I want to her, and she gonna still sit here, be having sex with me, cooking my food, keeping this house, doing everything that makes my life wonderful, and I've just literally pooed on her. Totally disrespected her. And if you did it, what would he do? Melinda says, women need to have the same zero tolerance policy men have when it comes to cheating. Sandy says, it's clearer than any words ever spoken. I agree. I told Carrie Pope, you ever cheat on me, I'm out. I told him that before we ever got married. Exactly, honey. If you accept him back after that and he does it again, let him cheat in peace. Amen. Amen. You just lowered your boundaries. That's right. And if more women would do that, more men would be afraid to cheat. But because so many men get away with cheating, Markeisha, I'm about to write my cheating protocol book, Always Leave. That's right. She said, preach that. I read a book that says always leave. Even if you reconcile later, you always leave at first. I'm going to be writing the book, following up to that book, Markeisha, because that is my motto. That's my protocol that I tell every single woman that finds herself in a situation where he's cheated. You're going to have to lay down the law and you have to leave. Even if it's going to be that he has to earn you back or you're kicking him out, so he has to earn his way back in, there's got to be a protocol. It cannot just be business as usual. It cannot. Cannot. All right, girls, it's almost 8 o'clock. We're wrapping up. I love, love, love that we're back for Girl Talk. Woo! Yay! Girl Talk is back. If you're just coming on, make sure you catch the replay. Make sure you go order the book, godlygirlsglam.com, in the bookstore, godlygirlsglam.com. Next week, we are going to be talking about modern marriage. Chapter 2. Let me see. Modern marriage next week. So we're going to start talking about marriage next week, girls. So you can get a better understanding of marriage, okay? And what it's like in 2018. Not 1918. 2018, okay? How do marriages work? What do healthy marriages work? I'm going to give you some examples from my marriage. We're happy. We love each other. Right? I know, Sandy, we could do this all night long. It's Girl Talk. That's why it's Girl Talk. Girl Talk is back because we get to talk real. Oh, Markeisha, I know. You know I got these kids now, honey. I can't come get my lashes done. Gotta be all busy and stuff. I hate it. Anyway, but I'm a mommy and a wife, and I love it. I'm happy. But yes, Markeisha, call me this week. Anyway, love you, love you, love you. Blessings in abundance. Stay tuned next week. Same place, same time. Thursdays at 7 p.m. is Girl Talk. Our Girl Talk hour. Make sure you set your clocks. Make sure you set your timers. Share Godly Girls Club with a friend. Go get your Godly Girls Club t-shirts. Godly Girls Club t-shirts. Girl Talk is going to be every Thursday at 7 p.m., Latasha, right here in the Godly Girls Club. 7 p.m. on Thursday. Go get your Godly Girls Club t-shirts. There's classics and there's a brand new one as well. We get them in long sleeve because fall's coming. Make sure you get your t-shirts and make sure you get your books. We're going to have some wonderful, amazing things coming up for us. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I can't wait. We have a conference coming next year. We have a cruise coming. We have a bunch of stuff we're working on for the GGs. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. That's our classic. This is our Godly Girls Club classic. So make sure you be with us next Thursday, 7 p.m. for Girl Talk. And stay tuned for our cruise announcements. And our conference is coming as well. Love you, love you, love you. Blessings in abundance, girls. Talk to you soon. Get your new tea, Natasha. Get it together. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.